The strongest magic types in Black Clover literally make you godlike. We all know the world isn't fair and everyone isn't born equally, but asta is the definition of hard work prevailing against that to become Wizard King. However, just like the real world, if I'm born with certain advantages due to genetics, you clearly can apply hard work to harness it to achieve your dream, but it can only go so far. Similarly, magic is no different. Would you want to be born with bronze magic or light magic? If I was at the grimoire ceremony and found out I had Seke's grimoire, my reaction would be, yo, killing me with this. And then I freaking find out my friend is going light speed at 15 years old and I'm sitting there making armor like a blacksmith, slaving away 24 bloody hours that would break within 2 seconds?
See, now that's some bullshit.
And I know what you're probably thinking. Ooh, I would like to have copy magic. It's going to be on this list, right? Well, no. It's good, but not the strongest. That's because the user has to touch the grimoire of the wizard to gain its properties in the first place. You're really gonna touch Lucifer, bro? Or Noel? You wanna catch a case that bad and be put in prison, bro? FBI, open up! The reason Raya was so strong was due to him being able to use light magic, which was only possible because of his homie Patry letting him touch the grimoire. In any other circumstance, he would have his hands chopped off at light speed before even getting near that thing. Then there is Dorothy's dream magic, which can create a dreamlike space inside which the user has full control. However, with the amount of times this ability has been fatherized, it doesn't really make sense to put this ability on the list over powers which have defeated it. Like her dream world got countered by Morris's tentacles, which can destroy any concept. The Black Bulls were able to beat it during the Elf arc, and then there's Yami's Equinox slash destroying it in one hit. So the first strongest magic type is magic. Wait, what? Magic. Magic. Oh boy. Yeah, this magic is so OP that you cannot even say its name, because if you do, you will die. This is only one of infinite methods this curse wording magic can be used. For example, I curse you, yes you, to hit the notification bell. But with its introduction, Noelle's mother and the Hot Queen are cursed and are dying. Acia actually did, which means Wizard King level knights are also affected and cannot do anything. Some of these curses carry the additional risk of being passed on to those who talk about them, which can only be avoided by entering a space separate from the normal world, such as Dorothy's dream world. Anything can be cursed, even spirits, as Varnica did it for the first time against Udine and destroyed all their countermeasures. But another overpowered ability is that it can create an army for you. The curse can be bestowed onto other humans which work under Varnica. Megecula later on added this power up to another degree when she reanimated 100 Dark Disciples, whom, by the way, all scaled to around a captain. However, if these minions are proven useless, you always can just use another curse called Exploding Life on them, which detonates the devil power that they have. This is capable of destroying everything in its vicinity and looks like to be as big as a town. Noelle was about to die against Varnica if Patry didn't show up. But why was Noelle struggling in the first place? Well, that's because curse warding magic also has the ability to use Decaying World, which can destroy opponents' spells, wrap around to bind opponents, and apply curses. Whilst this spell is active, any rune arrays that are applied to or directed at the user become corrupted and weakened. It doesn't matter if the person is Arcane Stage or even Saint Stage, which, mind you, Saint Stage freaking is pretty busted, as Yuno's version one-shot Xenon when they meet again to fight. However, I want to give a big shout out to U2s for sponsoring today's video. U2s created designer collectibles for Black Clover in a limited edition collaboration, which means once they sell out, they're gone forever. Just take a look at this amazing U2's figure they sent me, and the attention to detail is simply mind-blowing. Mwah. They didn't forget to add Yami smoking his ciggy, and since you know I'm a sip for him, he looks buff as ever with his grimoire and sword. But we can't exclude his student Asta now, can we? He has his big black sword too, and both grimoire include the exclusive writing that they have. If you want to see more of these awesome collectibles, just head over to u2s.com. They have an extensive collection, and who wouldn't want to own a piece of their favorite fandom? These Black Clover U2s are the perfect way to celebrate the movie and starting your collection or adding to it. Or if you have friends, maybe gift it to them. So head on over to u2s.com. Just click on the Black Clover section and trust me, you won't be disappointed. Magicula claims that no one can help them since Decaying World covers the area and will stop any magic. However, Garjo converts his life force into magic in order to cast his ultimate magic spell to overcome it, which means the mage facing you must practically sacrifice their lives and life force to undo only one of your cursed spells. However, the versatility of this magic doesn't end there, ladies and gentlemen, as it can also continually resurrect a person, give you high-speed regeneration, and make other people your slaves? Remember when the Heart Queen was forced to become a devil and obey commands? Essentially, curse warding magic has the power to practically do anything the user desires. So who wouldn't want this type of magic? You can literally curse yourself to be immortal or anything you have in mind. This is similar to time magic x soul magic that cranks up the immortality to godlike. Remember Julius literally defied death against Patry with the rune on his head, but then his brother comes along and makes it child's play in comparison. My man died against Yuno and then said, nope, here's 100 clones because I manipulated the souls of my siblings and used their magic for myself. As a result, it has the potential of having the most powerful healing in the entire series. Lucius even granted sight to the blind and regrew lost limbs. Lucius Socrates was the most talented devil host in history, causing his body to house not just one, but two souls. His magic type is so busted that he convinced himself it was fate for him to take over the world due to the advantage that life had given him. Soul magic is so strong, all it takes is one touch and you're done for. He can turn you into his puppet, making you believe he's right and all of his decisions are correct. Now, because a person's soul is the root of their life, spirit, and magic power, by altering their soul, the user can affect any of these aspects of a person. He used his soul magic to incarnate and purify devils in human forms, making a new race labeled paladins. He also performed this on himself, which proceeds to no-diff Asta's master devil union. My man can also resurrect the dead, by the way, and make them fight by his side, turning the Magic Knight captains into complete fodder. He brought back Noelle's mother, Nark's brother, and much more. This is magic similar to Rades. Who? This guy? Eye patch? Yeah. He has one spell in his book for resurrection, but any other magic type you can think of, Lucius makes it look like trash in comparison to his own that can do the same thing, but much better. Now, with time magic, you can steal others' time and store it, meaning that Lucius can heal his own wounds instantly. Stop you in time as a capture method. Time magic also has the capability of aging yourself or making you younger. He also used it to make Midnight Sun members into dust and erase their existence. Furthermore, Patry almost predicted that something was fishy about Julius because of how strong time magic was. As he states, there is no way Julius was a human. He even held back against Patry to capture him for questioning and still had him completely outmatched. Patry had to resort to using arrows of judgment to wipe out the Clover Kingdom, but Julius, he managed to stop all of them. He froze their time with chronoanesthesis, rewinding them to nothing. The only reason Patry beat Julius was number 1, he was distracted to save everyone, and number 2, he knew he would come back to life and had predicted the future with the 3 prophecies given to Asta. He did all of this to save William.
Who?
But all of Julius's feats are nothing compared to Lucius. Lucius also uses time magic to see every possible future and plan accordingly. Yup, he's basically Doctor Strange. But one person that made him question his future reading abilities is Yuno's magic. It's another unique case of union magic between Star and Wind. Whilst we have seen multiple people combine their magic types together, such as Lumiere and Licht against Zagrid, Yuno is the only person on the planet blessed with 2 different grimoires naturally, which caused a singularity, as Lucius stated in chapter 336. A singularity refers to a place in the universe where our laws of physics simply break down, even on their own. These magic types are ridiculously overpowered, but together they create someone that everyone instantly recognizes as the future Wizard King. As a result of Star X Wind magic, Yuno gets access to Never Neverland, which gives him the ability to manipulate space-time, such as his allies becoming more powerful whilst the enemy are weakened. This magic type is so busted that it's the whole reason Lucius knew he had to crush Yuno for his plan to even have a chance at success, as his time magic is useless inside Neverland because time does not move within its vicinity, and we know for a fact Neverland can reach a huge radius as it encapsulated the entire noble realm. Not only that, but there's nothing stopping Yuno using it as a hyperbolic time chamber where he can do years worth of training in just 1 second. This would explain why Yuno has leveled up so fast, hence why Andremelech the Devil states he's never seen a human grow so rapidly in a short span of time. This meant Yuno could close the gap in power between him and Lucius, which made him so strong. Lucius, for God's sake, even called him his rival.
Cheating करता है तू.
Star magic gives you the capabilities of instant teleportation with conjunction. This can be used to escape spatial magic, which Zetan had declared himself the best in the world, yet lost to this magic type. It even got Lucifero and Lucius questioning themselves, as conjunction can also move away allies instantly from danger. But that's not even the best of its defensive power, as Yuno also displayed how it covered the entire realm, saving every single person from the Angel's blast that were capable of nuking the entire goddamn city. He can put this shield on anyone he chooses, which swiftly brings me to another reason Star Magic is busted, as it also has offensive abilities such as Quartile Horse, which uses light. Yep, it gives you another magic type apparently, and this light creates a Kamehameha essentially. And then there's the whip version of it, which is so sharp that it can cut through almost anything. Thanks to Star and Wind magic combining, Yuno was able to outspeed Lucius's predictions and land attacks on him, achieving the greatest feat in the entire story so far, defeating Lucius Socrates and killing him. Frankly, he is the epitome of an example of how far an elemental magic type such as Wind can go, especially since you can get the Wind Spirit. Its versatility is insane. It has shields that are strong enough to block Lucius's attacks, lets him fly at speeds beyond multiple times light speed, creates endless amounts of weapons that are capable of killing the strongest of devils, but even create things out of thin air, such as the Swift White Hawk. If you had Wind magic or Star magic on your grimoire ceremony, you're gonna have a big old smile on your face, bruh. However, on the contrary, one character that didn't get to smile in their overpowered gift he was given is Yami Tsukihiro, the man I simp for. He was ostracized due to being a foreigner and having dark magic. This magic type is so strong that within a year, you instantly are in one of the best squads with Morgan and Julius, in which you're also able to defeat most magic knights at 15 years old. That gains you a infamous reputation. It has an intrinsic link to the underworld, as it's one of the only powers capable of killing devils and affecting their power. We saw this with Yami slicing Zagrid and keeping Charlotte alive in his black hole spell spell despite being surrounded by magic that disintegrates people. It has been described as the opposition to light magic, being extremely slow in comparison. However, it can completely absorb it. In fact, it can absorb all types of other magic due to its spells. Furthermore, dark magic has elements that are similar to gravity magic, being able to drag you and your magic into its radius, immobilizing you. Yami's power was so ridiculous that he was compared to the Wizard King and his time magic. This was before he gained a spell that slashed through dimensions. This is seen when Yami completely cuts apart Dorothy's glamour world. When a dark mage learns Mana Zone, they become a different beast. We saw with Yami's Dark Moon spell, he was able to fight on par with Dante of the Dark Triad. The thrust attack killed Dante multiple times over instantly. The only reason he survived was due to his body magic combined with the devil. This spell enables the user to gain control of the surrounding mana before producing a black hole that extends the absorption field across a specified area. The user can also choose what the spell absorbs. For example, deleting an enemy's magic whilst leaving an ally spell unaffected. Ichika showed a great level of mastery too, coating herself in armor of dark magic, and similar to Yami's Dark Moon, can use Dark Star. This can be used to disrupt an opponent's movements, creating an opening against anyone. Additionally, by focusing numerous spheres at once on themselves, the user can change the course of their own movement and make it easier to dodge the attacks of their opponents. It can make your movements completely unpredictable to the point where even she doesn't know where she will end up. Due to her mastery of Zetan, her dark magic was boosted even further. Whilst demonstrating it, she sliced through an entire forest of bamboo, whereas Asta's anti-magic only managed one at the time. Dark magic allowed Ichika to become so busted that Paladin Lily with Beelzebub was astonished by her magic. By using Black Crescent Moon, she was able to cleanly behead one of the legendary 5-headed dragon necks. And let's not forget that Yami Tsukihiro is considered for the Wizard King position. It has great versatility in defense and offense, providing you a power that can break physics, as its fundamental idea is like a black hole itself. Black holes are formed by the collapse of individual stars and are relatively small but incredibly dense. One of these objects packs more than 3 to 10 times the mass of the sun. Essentially, black holes have a singularity with infinite density and gravity, where nothing, including light or other electromagnetic waves, doesn't have enough energy to escape it. There is a reason why Asta parallels Yami's character so much and keeps copying his moves, right? It's because dark magic, when harnessed correctly with a sword or as a samurai, it's OP. Just look at chapter 324 when Yami made Lucifero bleed, forcing the king of hell himself to acknowledge his strength.
Now, although no one who has used gravity magic has ever got a dub in the series because they're trash, you can't dispute that it's still one of the strongest magic types in the entire series. The concept is simple. You have free reign to manipulate the gravity around you. Despite its simplicity on paper, however, the possibilities are endless. You can boost all default attributes of battle, such as your strength. This is achieved by increasing the gravity in your physical attack, such as your punch or kick. We saw both Dante and Lucius use this against Asta and succeed. Similarly, Lucifero used it to power up a kick which completely shattered Asta's leg in perfect devil union. You can also increase your speed in a similar manner, but this time by decreasing your own gravity, thus making yourself more nimble. By combining these two tactics together in quick succession, you can easily speed blitz an opponent by making yourself faster and then massively increasing your gravity in the final moment before your attack connects to achieve a fast, powerful blow. And for defense, you could make it so that 90% of the characters in the series can't even move. By increasing the gravity in the surrounding area, Lucifero was able to pin every magic knight captain to the ground. The gravity was so strong that even an incomplete Dante was capable of forcing light itself to stop in its tracks and fall to the ground. Even more so, it rendered spatial magic useless. Asta was literally the only one capable capable of countering this gravity. But this is only scraping the bottom of the barrel when it comes to gravity magic, however. That's because it also allows its user to forge weapons by manipulating the gravity in the area and merging them together, as seen when Dante shaped a massive sword formed from the ground to impale Gauche. But the ability with the most potential when it comes to gravity magic is by far the way the user can freely warp space, which allows you to generate tiny black holes that suck in and kill anything in a short range whilst continuously increasing in destructive capability. We see this when Dante fires one off towards Yami. After just a few seconds, it reached a mountain in the distance and effortlessly burst straight through it. Why didn't Lucifero do this? Well,
that's just lazy writing.
But what's even crazier, however, is how Dante was able to use these black holes to freely warp space to the point where even Yami's busted Dimension Slash was completely ineffective. In a similar fashion, he can warp the space in front of him to dodge an oncoming attack without having to even move. This is done by forcefully altering the path the opponent was on, as seen when Dante changed the trajectory of Asta and his clones created by Gauche's mirror magic. Gravity magic having such a monumentally overpowered effect on all these characters is crazy enough, but it's even more so when you remember that we've never actually seen what it's truly capable of in the right hands. Lucifero is by far the most powerful gravity magic user in the series, as he's the king of hell and it is his own innate magic type. However, we've only seen him in his 50% form. On top of that, he never got his hands on a grimoire, meaning he couldn't use actual spells. Lucius, on the other hand, is going to use it properly after absorbing Lucifero's heart. As we saw in chapter 361, he began tearing the Clover Kingdom apart by raising it from the ground in large chunks. And so really, my man with gravity magic can take over the entire world and destroy it if he wants to. Next up, we have Zagred's word soul magic, which lets the user speak anything into reality, whether it be physical objects, magic types, or natural phenomenons. This magic type is honestly so busted that you don't even need a grimoire for it to be overpowered. Like we saw Zagred casually changing the cause of reality itself through his bad breath. For example, when attacked by Patry in chapter 196 with his volley of light, Zagred simply said return and they reversed their course, telling us that his magic type allows you to even control others' magical abilities. The limits of word soul magic is simply limited to your own imagination, as Zagred was able to manipulate fire through his flame lance, earth with his wall, and even air to produce a vacuum wall. However, the most broken part of this power is actually its ability to let the user manipulate any phenomenon by speaking the right command, such as healing an injury by saying heal, or reversing it through return. The user can even teleport objects and people freely, like we see with Patry through the come here command. Then, after getting his grimoire, Zagred was able to manipulate not just earthly objects, but summon and control otherworldly swarms of creatures which can suck your life and magic with a single touch. And so finally, we have to address the elephant in the room. If this magic is so broken, why did Zagred lose? Well, he was a dumbass. No, seriously, that's the canon answer. One of the biggest feats of this power was how Zagred commanded attacks to be repelled with return. This proves that it can change the course of nature itself. But through Zagred not being able to counter Yami's dark magic, we can infer that to be able to affect a phenomenon, you must first be able to comprehend it. Like when Zagred uses the crush command, rocks start to fall to the ground, which is very inefficient really, when he could have made the same command happen through gravity magic like we'd seen with Lucifero. Thus, imagine word soul magic in the hands of someone even semi-competent like Lucius, for example. He'd have easily flattened everyone in the Elf Arc with a single command purely just by being smart enough. Next up is Spatial Magic. This is one of the most devastating magic types in the series, because even as early as the Elf Arc, Langris was almost capable of killing both Yami and Jack, despite both of them being capable of cutting through space. We also know that in Langris's unique case, spatial magic can completely negate, well, anything. Yes, anything. We are told no substance would survive, which means it has the potential to defeat any other magic type. Plus, Langris highlighted to us that it's not all about teleportation. He made Archangel Destruction, which is projectiles with the same effect. For example, in the battle against Xenon, we learned that no matter how strong one's defense is, because his magic cuts through space itself, nothing is safe. The only exception seemingly being summon a devil heart. Otherwise, Langris would have been able to one-shot a Xenon who had struck a deal with Beelzebub. This allowed Xenon to achieve a similar feat by combining it with his bone magic to tear space apart entirely. However, as we know, Beelzebub is the strongest spatial magic user of all time. Even an incomplete Xenon effortlessly dismantled the entire Golden Dawn, killing half of them, including Yuno, who was left on the brink of death. This is when we first saw the true extent of spatial magic's creativity. With it, Xenon could essentially create his very own world inside a small cube called absolute space. Inside of this, the user can freely manipulate mana to their own desire, giving them complete control of any spells cast within. When Sister Lily was infused with the soul of Beelzebub, she could use Sacred Devil Control, a similar spell capable of isolating someone else's and instantly dissolving it by warping space. The only counter to absolute space is if you have an equal amount of mana, which is unlikely when you remember that one of the 3 kings of hell wields it. And secondly, if you're a spatial magic user that has mastered Mana Zone, or if you have star magic, and then you might have a chance to counter it. And of course, with spatial magic you can create portals for long distance instant teleportation. However, it's way more than just being a quick Uber ride. You can literally cross entire continents with this spell instantly, as seen with Sister Lily, who subconsciously sent Asta all the way to the Hino country. Mind you, if it wasn't for Sister Lily interfering, her spell would have completely removed Asta from existence, hence why both she and Lucius believed him to be dead. Now, we of course have to talk about the most broken magic power in the whole series, Augustus Kira Clover XIII's light magic. Being the magic type of the king himself, it has the strongest ability. I mean, it's so busted that it gave Kira enough riz to bag these baddies. Okay, but seriously though, this magic type is actually pretty powerful, even if this bozo's completely useless with it. It's kind of like how we see bronze magic in the hands of Seke to be extremely weak, but Yosuga of the Ryuzen 7 is a beast with a variant of the same magic type in iron magic, despite bronze actually being a far superior metal. And so similarly, in the hands of a competent user, the effectiveness of light magic is unrivaled. It allows the user to generate and manipulate light at will, which is of course light speed. Julius even says that it's faster than his own time magic in chapter 36. This means that speed is the most important attribute for its user. We see this in action when Patre tries to make light work of Julius. Get it? Light work? Okay, never mind. However, furthermore, we also get to see the first Wizard King use it in action against Zagred. One of the biggest feats is of course showcased by Lumiere 500 years ago. After Licht turned into the ancient demon who was powerful enough to threaten the extinction of all humanity, Lumiere managed to defeat it using his light magic. Then, in the current time, a resurrected Lumiere was able to eviscerate the magic absorbing otherworld creatures with his lamp of Avia Gloria. Now, a lot of magic types are extremely powerful on a concentrated small scale, but with light magic, Patre was able to hold the entirety of the Clover Kingdom hostage with the Arrows of Judgment, which, when commanded by the user, would rain down and destroy an entire country in an instant if it wasn't for Julius reversing it. A surprise addition to this list is Maria Leona's Hellfire magic, or to be more precise, the sheer potential of fire magic altogether. I know it sounds all boring and generic, but the fire spirit Salamander alone is stated in the databook to have been capable of drying up an entire ocean with just a swing of its talons. And so honestly, the potential of fire magic is quite literally endless. We saw in chapter 275 that Maria Leona was able to defeat an ancient demon with her Caladius Brachium Purgatory Abyss spell. What makes this magic so powerful is that it literally turns the user into mana by taking in loads of fire magic into their body. But the insane part is that the longer the spell is active, the more powerful it becomes, being able to grow infinitely. For a very brief period of time, she could even fight the King of Hell himself, Lucifero, alongside Yuno. However, we got to see the full power of Hellfire incarnate during Maria Leona's fight against Paladin Morris. After gaining a boost from Lucius, Morris's modification magic was so powerful that it broke down everything it touched, even Yuno's Never Neverland spell. However, against the flame baddie herself, its powers were useless because every time he destroyed a part of her, she simply replaced it through the mana around her herself. Since Hellfire Incarnate lets you be the closest you can possibly be to mana, you can borrow your surroundings' power and convert it into into whatever you like. That's how its power grows infinitely the longer you are in this form. The only real limit is how much you can handle before your body eventually becomes nothing but pure mana. Nonetheless, we got to witness just how incredible fire magic could be during Asta's fight against Nama and Lilith. Nama, a supreme rank devil, is the pinnacle of flame magic that we've seen in Black Clover, where they can literally burn anything. It was so powerful that it even burnt away Nakt's sacrificial monument of atonement spell, something that doesn't even physically exist, which gave us the revelation that Nama's demon fire magic can burn light, darkness, shadow, and even invisible concepts. What's even crazier is that this was before Nama even got serious. At this point, they were still just playing around with Nakt. Furthermore, with this tier of fire magic, Nama was one with the flames just like Maria Leona and was tanking hits which were passing straight through her. Now this list was in no particular order, but we had to save the best for last. Asta's anti-magic. Imagine having the magic type that makes the whole story exist. Lucius even said that Asta was the only flaw he cannot read, and he can also break down and fully counter any other magic type, giving you a little chibi friend to keep you from being lonely along the way. In fact, Asta is so powerful that he can move thousands of times faster than light, blow up small planets, and has the strongest defense in the history of Black Clover, and with Zeten, all of that is made 100 times stronger. But to learn what on earth that even means, you must watch the video on your screen right now as we break down exactly why this is the strongest magic type in history.